jungle video. This video is taking a look at 4 newly OP champions in the new jungle. And these champions may not necessarily be the best champions going right now, but they're definitely the champions which have really improved from their status in Season 4. The first jungler in this list is Shaco. The reason why Shaco is going to have his power increase a lot in the new jungle is because invading is becoming a lot stronger. This is because the jungle in itself is a lot more powerful, which means that some junglers are going to be struggling a bit more early on, which makes them prime targets for Shaco's prey. On the same page, counter jungling is going to be more rewarding as well, as the jungle monsters have doubled their respawn time, and in addition, you now have these new smite bonuses from smiting the jungle monsters. So when you counter jungle, you're not just taking away the monster itself, but also that potential buff too. In addition to all this, Shaco also has his boxes to help him clear the jungle, which means that he doesn't struggle as much as some other junglers, especially early on in the game. The jungle items also help him as well, because if you decide to take rangers, then you can clear pretty quickly and gank more frequently, and if you take skirmishers, then you become extremely hard to 1v1 in duels, and also that split pushing later on in the game. The smite buff from the chickens, where you're able to destroy an enemy ward, is also very useful, because Shaco tends to be quite sneaky and make his living in the enemy jungle, and if you're spotted by a ward while you're doing that, that can really screw you over. And finally, you can be very versatile in your build on Shaco, because both the warrior and the devourer enchantment are very good on him. Next up, we have Fiddlesticks. The first and probably biggest reason as to why Fiddle is so good in the new jungle is because his drain gives him amazing sustain, which means he doesn't really feel that extra damage that the new jungle now gives to you. In addition to that, you can also wave goodbye to that frustrating moment when your Dark Wind didn't quite finish off all of the mini minions, because Ranger's Trailblazer now gives your smite some AoE damage. And that's not the only jungle item that helps Fiddle either. The new Mage's enchantment is pretty much perfect as far as stats goes for him. The new jungle also puts less emphasis on the early game. There's a few reasons for this. For example, you can only start with 2 potions now at level 1, and the new jungle itself will do a lot more damage to you. It's a lot stronger, and Fiddlesticks really doesn't shine in that early game. So not having the pressure to do stuff then, and being given the opportunity to just sit there and get your level 6 as early as possible, that benefits his playstyle. And lastly, similar to Shaco, Fiddle really benefits from the chicken smite bonus. Being able to deny vision for the enemy team is extremely important, because in order to be a good Fiddlesticks player, you need to get off devastating ultimates. And the first thing that needs to happen in order for you to do that is to deny the enemy's vision. In the second spot, we have Udyr. Udyr always clears through the jungle extremely quickly, and there's no change there in Season 5. His turtle stance also prevents him from getting beaten up in the jungle like you would see with some other champions. Udyr also works extremely well with 2 different smite upgrades, whether you want to go Ranger's Trailblazer to power through that jungle and clear it immensely quickly, or you can go Skirmishers and just destroy people 1v1. But the biggest reason why Udyr is so strong in this new jungle is with the new Devourer item enchant. This is essentially the new Feral Flare, and Udyr can stack this extremely efficiently and extremely quickly with his already amazing clear speed. He'll be stacking even faster if you did decide to go with that Ranger's Trailblazer, and probably the best thing about the Devourer item is that unlike Feral Flare, you don't have to stack it up in order to unlock it. As soon as you buy it, you gain access to that on-hit damage. What this means is that Udyr no longer has to wait in order to do massive damage. As soon as he buys it, he can destroy people. And the champion that has improved the most from his place in Season 4 and is probably one of the strongest junglers around right now is Warwick. Similar to Fiddlesticks, Warwick's sustain is absolutely godly, meaning that the new jungle is not very challenging for him. Ranger's Trailblazer is also a very good jungle item on him because it unlocks AoE clearing, which is something that he otherwise has absolutely none of. But the magic really happens when you buy a Skirmisher's Saber on him. Not only does this make you pretty much impossible to 1v1, but it also gives you a lot of on-hit damage, which is what Warwick is all about. And in addition to that, your ultimate basically works as a flurry of auto attacks. It applies a lot of your on-hit damage, which means that if you smite someone with your Skirmisher's Saber and then ult them, you do massive damage to them. And like I was saying about on-hit damage being what Warwick is all about, this means that Devourer is an extremely strong item on him. And the nicest thing about buying this Devourer on Warwick, aside from just the fact that it gives you amazing damage, is that you get 2 stacks whenever you get an assist, and Warwick becomes an assist machine whenever you're in a fight and press W. This means that whenever you're engaged in any kind of skirmish, you're pretty much guaranteed to get at least 4 or 6 stacks. And because you'll be getting so many Devourer stacks, and because you'll probably have a Skirmisher's Saber, and because you're Warwick, you really only need a Blade of Ruin King on top of that, and that's enough DPS for you to one-shot enemy carries. And because you only really need those 2 DPS items, you can focus the rest of your inventory on tank items, which means that most games you'll be reaching raid boss status. That does it for the champions, which I think are really strong right now and have definitely improved the most since Season 4. If you did like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to me for more educational league content. I'm going to be doing a load of Season 5 jungle stuff. As always, you can find me on my Facebook and my Twitter, and you can catch me streaming on Twitch too. All those links are in the description, guys. But thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in my next video.